Hey, it's Whitney with Oracle for Startups, and today I'm talking to Leonard Ivey, the co-founder of Softdrive, a startup building virtual computer streaming software for businesses. Welcome, Leonard. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Whitney.
So let's start with the basics. Tell me about Softdrive. What do you guys do?
Yeah, good question. For IT teams, physical devices are a massive pain point. There's performance problems with older devices. There's high capital expenditure costs for the new ones. Then there's the maintenance and management expenses as well, security and data loss issues. And then now, of course, we're entering kind of the new stage of the future of work, and there's remote work challenges as well. So Softdrive is helping relieve IT pains by putting the PC onto the cloud. So we're helping eliminate the capital costs, purchasing new expensive hardware as organizations can subscribe to super fast stream computers. More specifically, though, Softdrive is a cloud desktop machine that's accessible on any device. Whether it's an old $300 laptop or a thin client, users can stream Softdrive flawlessly as long as they have that internet connection. Very similar to how Netflix streams movies to your screen, Softdrive streams a powerful computer.
So I imagine this has a lot of implications for people who are increasingly working from home or in hybrid workplaces. How do you see this playing in with that new future of work?
I think for most individuals, logging into an app, hitting launch is pretty easy. And as long as the application or cloud PC feels as if it's a local device, it's not going to be a challenge. For IT teams, depending on the solution they're using, it might be a little bit more challenging when they are looking to, provision from someone like AWS, who has 100 different solutions that they need to choose from. They need to set up the network and configure. It can be harder. However, there's third-party vendors like ourselves who kind of manage that entirely for them. So they can come to us, ask, hey, we need 300 computers, and we can set it up in an afternoon, making their lives pretty simple. So, depending on who you ask, hopefully if you ask us, it's going to be a pretty seamless transition for users and IT alike in this kind of new remote work world for cloud PCs.
Yeah, user experience is obviously huge. So let's get specific. What are the businesses and industries that have the most to gain from a solution like Softdrive?
There is a huge movement in the architectural engineering and construction industry towards kind of new technologies. Previously, pretty antiquated when it comes to technology, quite adverse. However, in the last 5 years, there's been a massive shift to now adopting 3D and 4D modeling technologies like, the Revit, the Fuser, the Lumion, and that's for phasing and coordination purposes. The problem, however, is that they lack the proper computer infrastructure to support those powerful programs. And what that does is obviously it doesn't allow their employees to either run the program or run them well, leaving them frustrated and unproductive. So IT teams now have to purchase new hardware. Or, as I was mentioning before, there's the whole remote work aspect. And so they have to consider these individuals are commuting from job sites, office, home, and lugging around an expensive $3,000 to $4,000 machine can pose security risks as well as some other liabilities. So what we're looking at here is great solution is Softdrive, where they can stream, a very powerful machine to their existing devices, or, again, just purchasing thin clients for their entire workforce and being able to stream that powerful machine.
I mean, hardware at scale or intense GPUs for all your employees is definitely an expensive endeavor. So is Softdrive a cost-saving solution too?
Yeah, from a cash flow perspective, because we are a SaaS model, is very attractive for businesses. Typically, if you're an enterprise looking to upgrade every 2 years, 3 years, you may have to take out a loan and then amortize over the 3 years, which is not attractive. Whereas if you move to a SaaS model, from cash flow perspective, much more attractive. Plus, our offering is very similar to going and actually just purchasing the hardware. So, yes, there are cost savings.
And as we're talking about bringing enterprise data into people's personal computers as the workforce gets distributed, there's probably security concerns. How does Softdrive address that?
Yeah, I think this is the number one kind of question that we get asked or challenged on. And, without going to kind of too technical, but happy to rhyme off some things, we leverage Oracle for a lot of those kind of best security practices. And what I mean by that is, yes, your data is safe. It's in a tier 1 data center cloud provider like Oracle, fully SOC 1 and 2 compliant. And that's very important for a lot of our customers, right? Now, on our side, we're fully TLS and SRTP encrypted, which is kind of the video, the inputs, all of that is fully kept secret. And then for user authentication and passwords and such, we leverage Microsoft and Google authentication. So we're not storing much of the user's actual data. And again, kind of leveraging others who are more established to keep all of that kind of security in check.
Well, teamwork does make the dream work when it comes to enterprise and startups. So that's a great segue. Tell me about how you're working with Oracle Cloud and the Oracle for Startups program.
Previously had no idea how much kind of Oracle had to offer, but quickly learned that there was lots of sales help, marketing help, and then, very important to us is also help in terms of technical questions. So often we'd come and ask for some support in terms of configuring networks, configuring storage, and the team is more than happy to share kind of the resources of technical experts within Oracle to help kind of accelerate our growth, which is great. And then on the sales front, many introductions have already been made kind of across the industry. And so, there's been tremendous support from the Oracle team. And I think it's just going to keep on coming, which is pretty exciting for us.
I sure hope that's the case. So Oracle or Oracle notwithstanding, can you tell me some of the resources and connections that have helped you make the most out of your scale-up journey?
We have partnerships with NVIDIA, Autodesk, and of course, Oracle. And all of those have acted as resources which have helped us either accelerate growth from a customer standpoint or growth on a technical. It's been extremely important to partner with the right organizations.
So I'm hearing about partnerships. I'm hearing about customer connections. What is next for Softdrive?
Yeah, I think in a few months, we'll be raising some additional capital to continue both, create new technologies that are quite novel to the market, as well as increase our sales. I think there's a lot of organizations who might be struggling with their computer infrastructure, and we need to spread the good word.
All right, so I live in the mountains, and the internet is not always the most dependable. So how does Softdrive deal with that situation?
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, our existing internet is not as great as other countries, especially the Asian ones where you can get very fast internet for not much money, kind of wherever you are. However, we're seeing with low orbit satellites and 5G, a world where internet becomes much more accessible than almost every other infrastructure service out there, more available than electricity, water, and of course, road infrastructure. And this isn't fiction, right? We have Starlink service that's coming out and is already out in many cases, where there's something like 1,800 satellites orbiting the Earth right now that can deliver up to 1 gigabyte internet speed. So internet will very soon not be a concern for anyone.
Lightning fast internet as infrastructure is the future I want to live in.
Absolutely.
So where do you see the future of cloud PCs?
Yeah, so we look at the future of cloud PCs very similar to how electricity and power plants were in the 20th century. So before power plants existed, every company would have generators, local on-site generators to power their factories. Firms would have to purchase, set up, and maintain these machines, right? Much like kind of computers today. However, that was until the advent of a centralized power source, aka a power plant. Now firms no longer would ever think about using a local on-site generator. Why do that when all of your power can be streamed straight to you? And so that's how we're looking at computers and more specifically data centers today. Why would businesses purchase expensive laptops, expensive computers, when instead they can tap into the power of a data center and stream all of their computing power to effectively dummy machines?
Sounds like resource optimization to me.
Absolutely.
Great. And if I want to know more about Softdrive, where should I go?
Yeah, go to softdrive.co, or you can just shoot me an email, which is leonard@softdrive.co.
Great. We'll include those links in the description here. All right, Leonard, I think we got it. Thank you for joining me and good luck.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, Whitney.